Alright, what's going on, guys? Jack Duffy from JW Lawn Care and Landscaping here in Bucks County, PA. So today's video, I want to just make a short video. We actually already filmed it with Rick. We actually went to a potential customer in lawn care to price out a property, and I wanted to make a small video on that because I wanted to kind of talk about how do you as a lawn care company price out a property. If you're new to the business or if you're just starting up or anything like that, how do you price out your properties? Now, everybody's different. I know that way. There's many different techniques that you can come up with, many different ways and formulas and all that kind of stuff. I have 3 criteria that I go over in this video and I talk with Rick about. And you guys can leave in the comments what you guys use in order to price out your properties in your area, because every area is different, of course, when it comes to inflation and things of that nature. So let me know what you guys are pricing out at and enjoy the video. All right, Rick.
All right.
So we just talked to the potential customer. Now, Rick, when we price this out, now the backyard of this property right here has a pool, but it has a double gate so we can get a mower in. Has enough grass that makes it worth it.
Yep.
It's not a single pass and you're done. So what did you say when we first got out of the truck? What was the price that you said?
40.
40?
40.
You said 40. Okay, so this is the property. Now, obviously, you know, we're not going to show too much of it because of it's a privacy thing. But right when he said 40, I thought about possibly 45 for this lawn. However, I jumped it to 50 because of the pool. If it didn't have a pool, I probably would have said 45, and I think that would have been a pretty fair price for this property. Now, the company that was doing this before, I don't even think that. How many acres would you say this is? An acre and a half?
Not even
an acre. They were charging $75 a cut for this property, and it's not worth $75 a cut. And they were coming twice a week.
Yeah.
Twice a week. I mean, that's $150, right?
Yeah.
That's $150 a week for mowing for not even an acre property. That's ridiculous. Companies, stop doing this. You're going to lose customers if you upcharge people. You are going to lose them every single time. You'll make the money this year. Next year, you won't have that account. If you charge people correctly and not overcharge, you're going to keep those accounts for 5, 10 years. And I just don't, it pisses me off. Anyway, getting into how you price out a property. And this is something that you obviously are learning. For you, how would you price out a property? Like, what are the criterias?
I mean, you're gonna look at like how much of a necessary like pain in the ass the property is. Like, how much do you have to do at the property? Right. How much gas are you going to be spending at the property? And just overall, just like the layout of the property. Is it a difficult layout? Is it hard to get into? Is it going to be difficult or whatnot? That's my base judgment of everything for it.
And that is correct for the most part of what you just said. There's 3 things that I always look at when I'm pricing out a property, and I've kept this same mentality for the last 6 years that I've been in business. When I get to a property, I look for these 3 things. How long is it going to take me? What is the square footage already of the property, and what is the acreage of the property if it's a bigger property? And how much of a pain in the ass is this lawn going to be to me? And when I say a pain in the ass, I mean, like, is there a pool? Is the backyard with the pool worth it? Am I gonna get in trouble if I get, a bad wind and grass goes in the pool and I'm gonna get yelled at? How much weed whacking is involved? What areas, are there big areas that I have to weed whack solely without going with a mower? These are all things that I take into consideration when I mow or price out a mowing job. This one specifically, we have a lot of trees to go around, weed whacking, right? We have a lot of there's a lot of sidewalk edging, just because it curves around like that along the main road. And so these are the 3 criteria that I always look at. How much is it gonna, how much gas and how long is it gonna take us man-wise for 2 guys? How long or how much of a pain in the ass it is weed whacking and other little things like things sticking up out of the yard, how many, kids' toys, dog poop, things of that nature. And how big is the property in general? So how big the property is in general, that sets your bar. Okay, so there's a standard amount of acreage, less square footage that you would go off of. Our minimum is $30 a cut. That's our smallest property, is $30. We don't go anywhere lower. I know there's a lot of $15, $25 guys out there. We don't do that. We know what we're worth, know what you're worth. But if you take that as your criteria and your baseline, so from when I pulled up, I used the square footage and the acreage to basically map out how much I was going to charge without all of the extra things that I said in the other two criteria. So initially I would have agreed 40 is probably your number one. The reason that I added the 10 extra dollars and then we came out to $50 a cut weekly is because of all these trees right here, the pool, and the sidewalk trimming. That is the only reason why we upped it to 10 extra dollars a cut, and we finalized at 50. But that's how I've always mapped it out, and that's what I'm teaching him, so he can do it all on his own, so I don't have to hold his hand like a little baby boy, a little baby bird, you know?
A little baby bird.
All right, guys, so I want to add in one specific scenario. It actually probably is the majority of the time that this happens, and one of the reasons why I have never lost any customers within my company over the last 7 years of being in business. And that is because most times and most customers that I've gotten because they were unhappy with their previous lawn care company and weekly mowing company. So I want to kind of dive into what happens and the two questions that I always ask customers whenever this comes up, which the majority of the time, like I said, it does come up. And the reason that I've retained every single customer over the last 6-7 years is because of these two questions. I fully believe it. So here are the two questions that I always ask people when they say, we're not thrilled with our last company, they were overcharging us, or whatever the reason is, right? This is why I asked this question. Why are you choosing to change your lawn care service? Why are you not going with the previous company? Now, the reason I ask this question is not to pry or not to get into their personal relationship with their other company. It is to understand why they're unhappy. What are the things that this other company did that made them unhappy paying for their service? Was it a quality problem? Were they not, edging or not hitting the edges or fence lines with the weed whackers? Were they getting too close to the mailbox and actually cutting into the wood of the mailbox post or a deck post? Was it because they were shooting grass all in the beds? Were they shooting grass toward the cars? Were they running over things that they shouldn't be running over? Were they not showing up, right? Were they mowing too often in the summertime when you shouldn't be putting mowers on dry grass and burn out grass? So these are things that I always ask, because if they're unhappy about these specific things, I know what to do when it comes to keeping the customer happy, because in the grand scheme of things, guys, keeping the customer happy is what builds a relationship with that customer for 5-10 years down the line, which I have customers that I have that relationship with that I know on a first name basis well, and truthfully, I consider a friend at this point. But the thing is it builds a level of trust. I know now going into this year what that customer today that I priced out is unhappy with their customer, and what I can do better than they can, and what I can do that they didn't do in order to build a better relationship with the customer and the amount of respect that goes between both of us toward each other. Now, the second question that I always ask is, how much was that company charging you? A week, a month, whatever it was, whatever the situation was, how much were they charging you? And the reason that I ask that question is not to, gouge the price against my competitors or anything like that. It is to get a basis of what another company thought of not only the customer, but their property. In this case, in this specific situation today, we got told that the customer was paying $75 a cut for less than an acre of property twice a week. Twice a week. Now that's $150 a week, okay? And they were doing it all through the year. It wasn't just in the springtime when sometimes you need to come back out and cut because the grass is just growing like that. It was because they wanted to make money off of the property. That's it. Because the reason that the guy said was because they didn't make enough last winter in the snowstorms because it didn't snow, and they needed to make up for that. And to the other thing that in the email it said, she showed us the email, which it cracked me up. The guy said it was because of inflation that we had to come back out twice and meet our quotas for our guys. It's like, dude, come on. $75 for a less than an acre of property? Are you kidding me? And so that's why I said to this person, and it's about an acre. I'll say it's probably an acre, about an acre of property. That's still not $75 worth of property unless it is a pain in the balls to mow, in my personal opinion. But the reason that I asked that question is to not only set myself, okay, you can't go higher, you can't go lower than this. What is the middle ground that we are going to see and what this customer is used to? Now, for this specific scenario, all I had to say to them was I could say $15 less than that, and they'll probably be like, thank God. But I went $25 less than that. Now, a lot of guys would be like, well, why? You could have easily made more money. Because that's not the point. The point is to build a level of trust with your customer that in 2 years' time, if inflation does happen again and the gas prices go even higher, I can come to them and say, hey, I need to raise your price a little bit. And the level of trust between us goes, I understand. Okay? And that is the point of being in business, guys. Yes, it is to make money, but it is not to take advantage of people. It is to build a level of trust with your customers that builds your reputation as a good businessman or woman. So those are the two questions that I always ask when it comes to our lawn care business and how to price out a property. Treat your customers not as business income, okay? Treat your customers as regular people, because those people, if you build a reputation of treating people as people rather than, okay, dollar signs, you treat them as people, they will treat you as people. And they understand that you are making money, but you're also doing it in the correct way. So give it a try, see what happens. Let me know in the comments if you guys try any of these coming into 2024. And have respect, man. You know, be a good business owner, know what you're worth, but at the same time, keep your and leave your ego at the door. Build the relationships that are gonna last you 5-10 years down the line, that keeps those accounts on your company versus somebody else's company starting up. So that's my video for today, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe and leave a like, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.